You got to be careful. You never know what Eddie Gossage will put on that screen right there in front of me.
And if we could have your attention, we'll start our media availabilities this afternoon here at Texas Motors Speedway. And we are joined now by Carl Edwards, who drives the number 99 Fastenal Ford, 7th in points currently, 3 wins here at Texas. And Carl, just after the latest practice, P6 on the board, testing yesterday, practice today. What's the outlook and what are you expecting for the weekend?
Well, first of all, it's good to see you guys. It's been a while. But yeah, we've had a great start to the season, and testing didn't go very well yesterday. We struggled a little bit with our Fastenal Ford. Fortunately, Greg Biffle with his 3M Ford was very fast, so we basically just stole all their notes and went and started this practice session, and the car was very good. It's not quite as good as it needs to be on a long run, but at the end of the day, we still are testing in conditions that are practicing in conditions that we're not going to race in. So I think we're all trying to figure out exactly how the racetrack is going to be at night tomorrow. So it's a fun racetrack for me. I really like this place. I think you guys are going to see a great race because the tires are falling off quite a bit, and I believe that was the key to the spectacular finish at California. So I'm really excited about the race. It's a fun place to race for me, and I think it's going to be a good show.
All right, you have questions for Carl. We've got the wireless mics for you. Raise your hand. We'll bring them up to you. If we could come up this way, we'll start up with Holly. We'll get over to Claire and make our way from there.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Carl, you have had a good start to the season, very strong, and yet it doesn't feel like maybe it's gotten as much attention because there have been, shall we say, various things happening at all these other races. How good do you feel about it, and do you feel like you're kind of been this quiet, strong movement in there?
Yeah, we've been a little bit quiet, but that's okay. I've been having a lot of fun. It's neat to. I'll tell you what, it's a huge relief to have the win early. That was big for a number of reasons. Number one, we felt like we could run that well, and so to get that win based on the crew chief and the driver and the pit crew all working really well together that early in the season, that was huge. The other thing is it lets us. Play around a little bit more with setups and driving and strategy because we already have that win and we're pretty decently high up in the points. So it's just been kind of relaxing, fun. It was nice to, a good example was our practice session today. From yesterday, Jimmy Finnick was able, and the engineers were able to basically change everything and make the car lots faster. So it's been really good. I think we're kind of building our team for the chase here.
Claire, you ready?
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Why is Roush Fenway Racing so good here? And can you still apply that to the new car here, or are all bets off on things that used to be good here?
I don't know. I don't know why we're so good here, but it is nice to come here. I think all of us look forward to coming here because of our performance, our past performances. And I know it's we expect a lot out of ourselves here. And it was neat yesterday. I was talking to Greg Biffle during testing, and we were talking about the track, and it was about what his car was doing. And he said something that kind of struck me. He was describing his car, and he said, "But it's just like Texas normally is." And I thought, here's a guy who knows every nuance of this racetrack, and he knows exactly what the car is going to do after 5 or 6 laps. And he's a resource that I have, that Ricky has, and so I guess Greg Biffle's success is a big help here. He's a motivator. I mean, he was way fast yesterday, and that I got to look at his data, and I think that teamwork is key here.
Let's go to Woody Kane, then we'll go to Randy Kovitz and come over to David Caravello.
Woody Kane with MRN. Carl, just want to look ahead a little bit to Kansas. You got a little momentum rolling now. I know you'd love to roll in there with a boatload of it and take that race. Tell me about running there.
There'd be nothing better than winning here in Texas and then going to Kansas and doing it again. That racetrack means a lot to me. We tested there a couple weeks ago. It went pretty well, but it was only our team, so we really don't know how we stack up. But it's lightning fast. I mean, I think we were 207 or 209 miles an hour at the end of the straightaway there at Kansas, which was really good, really fast. But we didn't have any other teams there to compare with. So anyway, I am excited to go back there. It's amazing how much that area has built up, how much is going on there. It's a neat place, and I got a lot of family and friends coming, so that'd be huge to win there.
Yeah, Carl, Randy Kovitz, Kansas City Star. Kind of following up the Kansas question, because now you've been at California, and now you're on this mile and a half. How you think the new car will do still on a new track there?
I had reservations just because of how different the car is and the cambered rear ends and the different aero package. And then those last 10 or 15 laps at California, pretty much, I mean, that said it all to me. If, you know, we can put on that style of a race at a track that's, 2 miles long and has all the aero stuff that, the issues that we all complain about and everything. If we can put on a race like that at California, I think that this car could put on some very, very good races at these mile and a half. So I believe that one of the biggest things that that made the race so exciting at the finish at California was the way that Goodyear had engineered the tire to interact with that track surface. And so what you had at the end of the race, you had guys like myself who we had a 12th place car. We came and got tires. We could go 4 wide in the first corner and ended up finishing, I think, 3rd or 4th, wherever we finished. I think that's the key. So I don't know yet if Kansas has aged enough for the tires to act like that. It feels like Texas has, and I think that Kansas will be a good test to see how the tires work on that really perfect surface that they have there. But I really believe Texas is going to be good.
We'll go to David, then we'll go to Lee Spencer, and then over here with one of our TV friends.
David Carvello, NASCAR.com. 2 quick things, Carl. First of all, with this car, how much speed are you carrying into the corner, and is it different from the other one?
It always feels like you're carrying a ton of speed in the corners. With the other cars, it did too. But this new car, it's extremely fast. I mean, the testing at Kansas was, it was very, very fast. One of my buddies came to the track and over lunch, and he's like, man, it just, he's been going there for years, and he said it just looks so much faster in the corner. And I don't know if, I don't know. I don't know the real difference. I haven't gone back and said, hey, how much faster are we going? But the cars have a ton of grip.
Can you put a number on it?
Like a mile per hour number? Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't go back and compare, but I know that it was. It gets your attention. I mean, it's amazing that these cars can weigh as much as they do, and the tires can hold up, and everything works out because it's very, very fast.
And the second thing, you talked about Greg earlier. With Matt being gone, how has that affected your relationship with Greg? I know Ricky's there, but you two guys are the veterans, and have you had to work together more? Have you worked together more? Just how's it affected the two of you guys?
Well, I know this weekend being next to Greg in the garage and with his success here, I find myself, I've been walking over there for the last 2 days and asking him a lot of questions. But I've always felt like I could go talk to either Matt or Greg or Ricky now at this point. I mean, there's a lot of times where it's not like the guy with the most experience always has the best ideas. So I think it's just more important that we all talk to one another and work together. And right now it's as good as it's ever been. I mean, Matt and Greg and I felt bad losing Matt because he was such a huge asset. We get along so well now. And but I think that Ricky's picking up a lot of slack, and we've all talked about it. I mean, we actively said, hey, we've got to work together. We've got to do the best we can. And even we've extended that to Brad and Joey. I've spent more time talking to the Penske guys than I ever have. So I think we've got 5 really good guys.
Lee, you're back there somewhere.
Thank you. Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Do you have a better read on Jimmy now than you did when the season started? Yeah,
I'm getting a better read on Jimmy. I still joke around with him at times that he feels inappropriate, and then he gets mad at me. But I'm learning which times are appropriate and inappropriate, and we have a lot of fun though. He's a really good guy, a very hard worker, and I'm, the more I learn about him, the more grateful I am that I'm partnered with him. But yeah, that's no good.
You guys over here? Are you good over here? Are you okay?
George Reba, WFAA. I know that you haven't really been involved in much this year, but since NASCAR relaxed the rules in January and so forth, your thoughts on the driver confrontations and so forth. Is that a good thing, good for NASCAR, the way you think things are being handled right now?
I don't know. How are they? What's NASCAR done differently?
Seems to be more head-to-head confrontation type stuff, that...
Yeah, I noticed that there's been a lot of violence at my workplace lately, and I don't know what to think of that. But I think that you're seeing a lot of passion. I mean, you're seeing guys that really care, and I think that's the sport is that's always been a part of this sport. I mean, if you go down to Cowtown and watch the races, tonight or tomorrow night, that there will be guys that get out of the car really, really mad at other guys. And it's, I'm sure those of you in this room that are guilty of getting really, really frustrated on the road. It's just really hard to express yourself from inside of a car. And so you get out and it's all built up and you just go for it. But, I think that's just part of the sport.
Okay, we'll go back to Holly for a follow-up and finish up with Reed Spencer.
Carl, is there anything that you can really put your finger on why you guys are doing so much better? Was it just the will to not let a season like you had last year happen again? Are there concrete? What specifically do you think is the reason for that?
I wish it were just up to willpower because we'd be all right. But it's the fact that Jimmy has a lot of experience, that I'm doing everything I can do. My pit crew has been a huge part of our success this season. We had a bad race there at Martinsville, but other than that, our cars have also been just very fast, very competitive. Doug Yates has been doing a great job with the engines. I think that I think all the factors, everything has to be there, and we've had a little bit of luck. I mean, things have gone well, and so I think if we just continue working as hard as we can, we're running a little bit better now than we were last year, so we could weather a bad luck streak a little better right now. But it's all of the parts of the team. I mean, we've got good cars, good people, good pit stops. That's good stuff.
And lastly, has not doing the nationwide races, not racing as much, has that had an effect one way or another on you at all?
I don't know. I think it's been very good. It's let me spend a lot more time with with the guys and a lot more time focusing. I haven't been paying as much of attention to the nationwide series, but I am going to broadcast with ESPN the next 3 races, so I'll get a chance to watch the race a little bit more. And I believe that Jack and the guys at the shop have bought me a nationwide license, and I think there's potential that I could run a couple of those races later on. So my plan is to watch these races really closely, see how the Cup guys that are running at this track specifically, see what they learn, and kind of watch how they run tomorrow, and see if there's anything that I can gain from it, and then I might consider running some more later in the year.
Okay, Reed, we'll finish up with you.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service. You talked about testing at Kansas. How much input do you drivers have in determining the test sites, and are you trying to leverage places where you can learn a lot that will apply maybe to a number of racetracks?
Right. We went through the whole decision-making process earlier in the year, and I can't remember all the numbers of what tests we get and how, but we had kind of a voting process of how they said, hey, where do you want to test and why do you want to test there? And so everybody had input, and it was just for the reasons you said. It's that we want to make the most of our tests so that we don't just go test at a track that it's only, the test session, you want to benefit you more than just that track. And that's why we picked the tracks that we picked. And I think everybody in the sport did that, and you also have to weigh your weaknesses and strengths. And that's one of the questions I think everyone battles with. Do you work really hard on your strengths, or do you, because that's, you can achieve there, or do you work hard on your weaknesses and try to raise them? But it was a big decision-making process at RFR for us.